Hey guys, welcome back to another plan with me. This week I'm planning from October 31st to November 6th, and I'm using this kit from Planet Fancy. I actually posted on my Instagram story asking which kit out of 3 I should use as my Halloween kit, and this is the one that was chosen, so that's what we're going with. This week obviously was Halloween, but there's not a whole lot of Halloween festivities going on just because it's really only Monday, and then the rest of the week is November. And not what happened this week. Oh, I did go away for the weekend. So that was a thing. There was some more car drama, and this is pretty much where the car drama has been halted ever since, just because I have been way too busy and Joe has been way too busy to deal with that disaster. So yeah, this is the last car update for just a little bit, or I guess I shouldn't say a little bit. I'm trying to be optimistic, but like I don't really know when that's all going to be able to get figured out. I'm really not sure, but it's getting just colder and colder outside, so I don't know how we're going to like work on cars. It's already difficult enough without a driveway, so yeah, but I think those are the two main things that happened this week. Oh, and I also did get my first real interview invite. I'm sure if you have been job hunting in the recent months or however long this has been going on, you've realized that there are a lot of scams out there. Scammers will even go as far as going to a jobs website, going to the career page, and just copying real job postings and then posting them on LinkedIn and Indeed themselves. And so even if you go to the company's website, you'll find that the job is real, and so then you'll think you're like good to just apply on LinkedIn or Indeed, but you're not. So I like after I got my first sort of sketchy interview invitation, I read up on it and was able to sort of like avoid getting any more. But the problem is the only real way to avoid that is to apply to jobs directly on companies' websites, which, like I was saying in my last plan with me, a lot of those require like a long, tedious application and sometimes also assessments. And so obviously like the Indeed or LinkedIn quick apply is really, really tempting. So scammers have ruined that now too. So just gotta love it. And I'm sorry, but companies need to get their shit together. If I input my resume file and your, coding or whatever is smart enough to gather information from my resume, why do I have to fill out my job experience? Why are you making me fill that out? It's on my resume. So annoying. But anyway, that's pretty much what went on this week. So I'm just going to get into it starting with Monday. And the first thing I marked, of course, was that I did a puzzle. So I just used a little Once More with Love puzzle munchkin to mark that. I used a Glam Planner Kisma to mark a rainy day. Then I used this little zombie emoji to mark just more applications, just more and more applications, because at this time I wasn't working anymore and it was just my full-time job and it was terrible. Really, really terrible. Under that, with just this little strip of washi and a Piper Paper Nike shoe, I marked that I walked with a little thing, and this Munchkin eating pizza, I marked that we got buy one get one free pizzas from 7-Eleven, and I know that sounds disgusting, and it sort of kind of is, but it's also like kind of good sometimes. So yeah, we got that. With this, where did I get this? I believe this is Fox and Pip. This Netflix and chill sticker, I marked that we watched The Invitation, and I had very high hopes for that, but I really just wasn't into it in the end. Growing up, I was the biggest Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan, and also like Anne Rice style vampire stuff. I really loved all that growing up, but in my adulthood, I have really struggled to find vampire, what do you call it? Media, I guess. I don't know. That is good. Like, I don't know. I just have not been really liking much vampire stuff in my older years so far. I do know that What We Do in the Shadows is supposed to be really good, and I watched one episode. Maybe I'll give that a try sometime. But the point is, the invitation, not into it. With a little thing and a headache, pumpkin paper Coterra, I marked that I had a headache. I feel like I hadn't been getting headaches a lot recently, but that has definitely changed in the past couple weeks. I have been getting headaches a lot. Moving on to Tuesday, the first thing I marked with an appointment label and this emoji hiding under the pillow was that I stayed in bed until 1 p.m. Oops. With a quarter box and another puzzle munchkin, I marked that I finished my puzzle this day. This, I believe, was my 1,500 piece puzzle, and it was a pretty fun puzzle. The ending did get a little tricky just because it had a big blue sky, and with so many pieces, it was really like a sorting of all the shapes situation at the end, but I finished it. Then with a fancy label and this Fox and Pip grandmother sticker, I marked that I called my grandma. With this worry munchkin, I marked that I was feeling very, very anxious this day. With a fancy label and this spray bottle that I really like, and I don't know where it came from. I think it was like part of a kit. I marked that I scrubbed the shower with a little thing, and I want to say this planner came in the Planet Fancy kit. I marked that I planned. With an appointment label and a nail icon, I marked that I did my nails. Then with the movie marquee and a little emoji in bed, I marked that I watched Terrifier 2 in bed. Since we only really got like maybe 20 minutes in, I still had a decent chunk to watch, and I still didn't even finish it because it's a pretty long movie. It's over 2 hours, and probably unnecessarily so. It really doesn't need to be 2 hours. And then the final thing on Tuesday with a squared off box and this tired emoji, I marked that I had insomnia. Moving on to Wednesday, the first thing I marked with a fancy label and this, I believe this is a Coffee Monsters Co., like old school grocery cart. I marked that I walked to Aldi. With this flat lay from Papershire, I marked that I planned and did a voiceover. With an appointment label and this Sticky Perks Skippy's peanut butter sticker, I marked that I ate pickles and peanut butter for dinner like a child. With a little thing and this paw print from a sticker sheet I got from Michaels, I marked that I did the litter. With a half box and this sunglasses munchkin, I marked that I finally got a real interview. So exciting, but also incredibly nerve-wracking. Moving on to Thursday, with a half box and this massive desk scene. I'm blanking on the name. I'm sorry. If you're interested in this sticker, just ask me. I'll find what the shop was. But I marked that I was just in job hunting hell. With a half box and this Halloween movie, or maybe this was Christmas, because this is The Nightmare Before Christmas. Doesn't matter. This pumpkin paper Coterra, I marked that I watched, I think it's pronounced Titane or Titane. I'm not sure. It was a French film. It was definitely very weird. It was like a body horror film about a woman who like was in an, I don't even know if I can explain it without like disturbing people, but it was definitely weird. And I will say one thing, that the French really know how to make you uncomfortable. Like American horror there's a lot of blood and gore and like squishy sounds. In the few French horror movies I've watched, it's just so much more realistic that it actually disturbs me even more, with like less blood and less sound. It's pretty like unsettling, I will say that. But yeah, I don't really know if I can say yay or nay to this movie just because it was so weird. I had to like look up an article about it because a lot of it just really didn't make any sense to me, but it was very well acted. I will say that. Like, it wasn't a bad movie. It was just so weird that I don't even know, like, I don't know if I enjoyed it. I'm not sure. with a little thing. And this face mask munchkin, I marked that I did a face mask with an appointment label and another icon. I marked that I stayed up until 4 in the morning, not good. Janet's finished with her dinner and she's screaming outside my door, so I'm sorry if you can hear that, but I'm almost done. Moving on to Friday with a quarter box, and this sticker was probably a little too big for this spot, but I already put it down and I just like went with it. Or maybe I should have used like a little flag instead of the quarter box, but it is what it is. This is a Planting Roses packing sticker. I marked that I packed with a little thing. And this confused munchkin, I marked that my TV stand is cracked. It's so not the TV stand, but like one of the feet that the TV stands on, you know. I was dusting my dresser and I noticed that there's a little crack in one. So I'm going to have to email the company about that because I've only had this TV for a couple years and that definitely should not be happening. Like that shouldn't happen ever, let alone so quickly. So yeah, I'm going to have to get that taken care of. With a half box and this existential crisis emoji, I marked that there was an incredibly strong burning smell coming from the engine of the car from hell. And I was just so like beaten down because I had just spent so much time the week previously cleaning it and vacuuming it and like detailing it with Q-tips, and then I moved all of my important things from my Volkswagen into the Nissan, like my air pump, my like bag of straws and utensils and like salt and stuff that I keep in my car, my napkins, my hand sanitizer, my Easy Pass, like everything was in this car. And then this happened and I was just like, this is such a slap in the face. With a skinny appointment label and a car icon, I marked that we really didn't have any time to worry about that because we had to hit the road and head to the DC area. We were going to be spending the weekend with my boyfriend's best friend, his wife, and his 2 kids. They had just had a baby less than 2 weeks ago, and we were going to go see their new house and meet the new baby. And we were already running late, so the Nissan just had to sit there smelling like explosives and we had to hit the road. So under that, with a little squared off box and a munchkin holding a baby, I marked that we got to meet the new baby. And then the final thing for Friday with a half box and a sushi munchkin, marked that we ordered in sushi, and they also got some other things like dumplings and fried rice and egg rolls. And this place that we got was so good. I really enjoyed it. Moving on to Saturday, the first thing I marked with a squared off box and these random sunglasses I have left over from somewhere, I marked that it was in the 80s this day. It was the most beautiful, perfect day all year. It was amazing, especially because it was so cold the weekend before. This was so nice. With a fancy label and this walking munchkin, I marked that we walked to the playground trying to take advantage of the beautiful weather. With a half box and a slice of pizza munchkin, I marked that we got pizza with the beach crew, which is basically just like we used to go, well, especially my boyfriend, he used to go like every single year. I've gone, I want to say 3 times. I think 3 times. I've gone through 2 or 3, I can't even remember, but we would go to Ocean City, Maryland with this group of people, and we had pizza with a few of them. With a quarter box and another munchkin holding a baby, I marked that I got to feed the new baby. With a half box and this TV left over from, I think it's Apple Blossom Prints, possibly, that makes all these icons that I keep. But that might be wrong, but I think it is. I marked that we watched the first episode of Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities, and it was not that good, but I do know that they are all by different directors, so I'm still going to keep watching. And I like this format of show, so we'll definitely stick with it. Finally, with a little thing and a clock icon, I marked that we gained an hour, which was nice. Finally, moving on to Sunday, the first thing I marked with an appointment label and this little Once More with Love flower was that it was just another lovely day. It wasn't as hot as the first day, but it was still really sunny out. With a little thing and this car icon, I marked that we had to head home. And then with a fancy label and this, what do you call it? Little couch sticker from the same place that the TV is from. I marked that we stopped at the Pottery Barn. There was an outlet like 2 minutes from their house. So we stopped there just to check it out. With a fancy label, this Red Bull sticker, and this emoji holding bananas. I marked that we went to 2 different Walmarts. The first Walmart was out of Red Bull, so we just picked up bananas, and then the second Walmart had Red Bull. So that was cool. Actually, it was annoying. Every time I go to Walmart, they're out. No matter what state I'm in, they're out of Red Bull. Under that, with a squared off box and these 2 munchkins eating dinner, I marked that we went to Applebee's, which my food sucked. It was terrible, but it was still such a good experience because our waiter was so nice. He like really hooked us up as far as like giving us free stuff. And he recommended we try the little cinnamon roll minis. They were so good. It was like worth it to go to Applebee's just for those. Like, my salad was the worst thing I've ever eaten in my life, but I still had a great time. And then under that, with the movie marquee and this is from a Creating in Co kit, this little like body outline, I marked that we watched Inside Man, which I loved. Just the first episode this night. It was hard to convince Joe to give it a try because he thought the trailer looked so bad, but then he was hooked. And then the final thing for this plan with me was I marked with a fancy label and this little farting munchkin that I just had the gas from hell. So yeah, I was not fun to be around. Oops. And then for my sidebar, I decided to mark that I got my first real interview with a little happy munchkin, and that I got to meet the new baby. And I just marked that with another munchkin. So yeah, that is technically my Halloween spread, even though it wasn't very Halloween-y. But I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you stayed to the end. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.